WuSA, wake up South Africa. You've been sleeping far too long. Wake up South Africa.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna, the transcendental Cupid, Kandar Pakoti Kamaniya, Vishesha Shobhan. Cupid is taken to be very beautiful, but Krishna surpasses everyone in beauty, and therefore he surpasses Cupid, not only surpasses, but Kandarpa Koti Kamaniya. If you could multiply the beauty of Cupid by thousands of times, then that might give some idea of the beauty of Govinda, Krishna. Bhagavan means Aishwarasya, Samagrasya, Viryasya, Yashasha Shriya, Jnana Vairagya, Vairagya. That he's supreme in knowledge and strength and wealth and fame and renunciation, in beauty also. Well, this is Krishna. The Cupid in the material world is the agitator of everyone's mind. Manmata. Manmata means it agitates everyone's mind, especially by the sex attraction. The Pumsastriya Maitani Bhavameta. Everyone becomes attracted, even maddened by this force, the attraction between male and female. But this is the effect of the material Cupid. The effect of the material Cupid is that one becomes attracted to the material body. We know that the body is just made of material elements, and still, even a person of knowledge becomes attracted. It becomes attracted. This is the influence of the material energy, or the influence of Cupid. Everyone is attracted in terms of this sex desire or material attraction. But Krishna is not subject to that kind of influence. In the Srimad Bhagavatam, we find that when Krishna incarnated as the sage, Narayana Rishi, he was doing severe tapasya. And as usual, Indra became worried, concerned that this sage is doing such tapasya. He might become so powerful that he'll take over my post, and what will happen to me? Indra has such worries. So, as usual, he sent his agents in the form of beautiful, heavenly apsaras, angelic looking women, to distract the sage from his penances. This is usually effective, just like the, who was that? Rishi? and he was attracted by Menaka, Vishwamitra, like that. He became attracted. He was meditating with eyes half open and half closed, fixed on the tip of the nose, so that his mind would not be distracted. But the heavenly girl, so that her movements and so on didn't affect him because his vision was withdrawn. But she was dancing or moving very nicely, and he heard the sound of her ankle bells. And by hearing the sound of the ankle bells, then he thought, oh, there must be a very beautiful woman nearby. So then he opened his eyes, and things went on from there, and he became the father of Menaka. So this is Indra's method to employ these exceedingly gorgeous apsaras to distract the sages, practically any sage who could be immune to such beauty. So several such women came to the place where Narayan Rishi was performing his tapasya. And they were doing their thing, you know, their attractive movements and their attractive voices and their attractive glances and so on. But Narayan Rishi countered their efforts by manifesting similarly beautiful girls, or even more beautiful girls, from his own body. He just manifested another set of apsaras, beautiful women. So then the apsaras sent by Indra were defeated. They were frustrated. What can we do? This sage won't be attracted by us. Women just as beautiful as us, or more beautiful, or produced from his own body. So in this way, the Prabhupada cited the saying that the sweet maker has no taste for sweetmeats. We go by a sweet shop, just like there are these wonderful sweet shops in Vrindavan where they have all kinds of laddu and peda and sandesh and rabri and this and that, all very nice sweets. And people go by and they're attracted to seeing so many nice sweets. And sometimes someone buys one sweet, then he wants another sweet, then another sweet, then another sweet. Or children, another sweet, another sweet. One becomes attracted just by seeing the sweets. And becomes hard to stop. They're so nice. But the sweet maker is sitting there all day, and he has no interest in the sweets, in eating the sweets at least. He's interested in selling, but not eating. He doesn't think, oh, when will I be able to take one of these gulab jamuns myself? He's not interested. So the expression is that the sweet maker has no taste for sweetmeats. So similarly, Narayan Rishi wasn't attracted by the beautiful women of the heavenly planets because he himself could produce such women with no difficulty. That means the Lord is transcendental to all material attractions. He has no, he's Atmarama, he's completely self-satisfied. Why will he be attracted to anything material? For that matter, the Cupid arouses such attraction. But the Cupid is manufactured by Krishna. The Cupid is just a tiny part of Krishna's energy, a part of Krishna's energy. So when Krishna is the source of Cupid, how could Krishna become overcome by Cupid? So Ishvara Parama Krishna Satchidananda Vigraha. The Lord's form is transcendental, and he's beyond the modes of material nature, beyond ignorance, beyond passion, beyond even goodness. So he's not attracted at all by the powers of Cupid, but he attracts Cupid, or even he agitates the mind of Cupid. The Cupid is known as Manmata, the one who agitates the mind, and Krishna is known as Manmata, the person who agitates the mind of Cupid. In the Bhagavatam it said, Tasam madrir avira puch chauri smayamana mukam puja Padambara Dhara Shagvi Sakshan Manmata. The Cupid of Cupids, the attractor of Cupid. The description is there, wearing yellow garments, decorated with a flower garland. Lord Krishna, appearing among the gopis with his smiling lotus face, looked directly like the charmer of the heart of Cupid. This is Krishna. Kandarpakoti Kamaniya Vishesha Shobham. Or another name of Krishna is Madan Mohan. Again, Madan is Cupid, who bewilders everyone. But Krishna's the Madan Mohan, the person who bewilders even Cupid, the attractor of Cupid. This is Krishna. So if one is attracted by Krishna, then he loses the attraction for material enjoyment. There's a verse by Srila Rupa Goswami. Let's find that verse. It's very nice. Smeran bhangi traya parichitam sachi vistirna drishtim na prekshishtas tava sake yadi bandhu sangesti ranga. Let's find it in a different place. There it is. Smeram bhangi traya parichitam sachi vistirna drishtim Pangshi Nyastadhara Kishalayam Ujvalam Chandrakena Govindatyam Haritanu Mitake Shitir Topakante Ma Prekshishtas Tavayadi Sake Bandhu Sangesti Ranga. One gopi is speaking to another gopi and says that, my dear friend, if you are in fact attached to your, as Prabhupada would say, society, friendship, and love, then don't go to see the smiling face of Govinda. Don't see him. Why should I not see him? Oh, because he's standing on the bank of the Jamuna at Keshighat, and he's looking to the side with his sidelong glance and playing on his flute, and he's so bright, standing in the moonlight, his body bending in three places, curved. So if you're serious about your attachments to your friends, to your family, then don't go. Don't go see him. That means Rupa Goswami is indirectly or poetically advising that yes, you should go see him. To forget about this material attachment. Yes, Smeram Bhagi. Don't go there. Forget. So the Krishna is there, and the temple is the deity. And by seeing the beautiful form of Krishna in the temple, serving Krishna, dancing before Krishna, chanting Hare Krishna, one is elevated to the spiritual platform, and one becomes more and more attracted to Krishna. And the result is that one loses one's attraction for the Maya. So this is Madan Mohan. The whole world is bewildered by Madan, by sex attraction, by material. Yes. The pull of the material energy. But when one becomes attracted by Krishna, then those attractions become insignificant. Therefore, we want to establish our relationship with Krishna, Madan Mohan. Jayatam Surito Pangor Mama Manda Matergati Matsarva Shah Padam Bojo Radha Madanam. Kavi Raj Goswami is offering his obeisances to Madan Mohan. Jayatam Surito Pangor Mama Manda Matergati. My brain is not very good. My intelligence is not very good. I'm slow. Manda Sumanda Mateo. Slow in spiritualization. But therefore, let me surrender at the lotus feet of Madan Mohan. Glorify Madan Mohan. In this way, we revive our real consciousness. In the material world, we're looking for happiness, but there's hardly any happiness. Vidyapati says that it's like a little drop of water in the desert. In the desert, we want an ocean of water, not a drop of water. But the material happiness is just like a drop of water in the desert. Not very, not satisfying. But the happiness of being engaged in the service of Krishna, Anandam Puri Bharvanam, Brahmasokyam Tvanantam, that happiness is unlimited. Therefore, our business is to chant Hare Krishna, to become attracted to Madan Mohan, and to forget about this material world. All right. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Are there some questions? I wonder.
A question from Bhaktin Bontle. She greets Hare Krishna Maharaj. Thank you for those reflections. Then her question is, we see Krishna as the deity. We try to see him through our ears by daily chanting and hearing his holy names. But why is our attraction not increasing as dramatically as the gopis advise? Are our offenses the main obstacles to accelerating this vision? or are there other things to be considered to minimize our material attractions?
Gopis, they're in the perfected stage. So naturally, their attraction is spontaneous and unlimited. We're in the disease stage of material life. Since time immemorial, we've been attracted by the material energy under the illusion that we can be independent enjoyers. We've been thinking, I'm this body, and this is mine, and I can enjoy. So this diseased mentality has been going on lifetimes, 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 lifetimes. So we need to be freed from the disease. So the spiritual master gives the direction to the disciple how to gradually get free of that disease. And the disciple has to take up the method step by step by step. Then we come to the healthy stage, pure stage. That may take some time. Therefore, Rupa Goswami says patience, enthusiasm, and patience also. Because Rome wasn't built in a day, everything takes time. So in our present probational stage, we're just learning how to revive our relationship with Krishna. We're still not yet free from the grip of the material energy, but we're aspiring to be free. We're taking up the process to become free. And by sticking with that process, we'll become free. Free from the material energy and situated in the spiritual energy. Muktir hitvanyata rupam swarupena vivastati. Is that all right? You were saying something?
Martin Buntley, you satisfied?
Hare Krishna, dear devotees, yes, very satisfied, and I like the idea of probational states, so I'll think about that a bit as well.
I'm sorry, it's very difficult to hear you.
I'll type it in the chat box, Maharaj.
Okay. I heard that.
Should be
okay. Are there other things to oh, look at that. There's a lot in the chat box, actually.
There's another question came in from Gosinga, Victor. You'd like to know.
Hold on. Let me just see what's going on here. We'll adjust the chat box. We'll make it bigger. Yeah, the offenses are obstacles to our vision. Everything's to be considered. How to take the medicine, hearing, chanting, or how to take the healthy food, you can say. Just like the person who has jaundice, nothing tastes good, don't want to eat anything. But by taking papaya, sugar candy, then the jaundice becomes cured gradually. And the sign that one is becoming cured is that one's taste comes back. This example is given in Upadeshamrita. By tasting every day, little sugar candy, gradually the tongue is cured, and the result is, oh, this sugar candy is so sweet. So go on hearing about Krishna, go on chanting Hare Krishna, go on serving Krishna, go on seeing the deity, and the One day it will come, that advanced stage. All right, let's see what else is here. You speak of a probationary stage. How does one accept and live through this state gracefully without feeling punished, as if it were during this seemingly endless cycle of birth and death? Well, we are being punished. We're punishing ourselves. We're punishing ourselves by our attachment to this material energy. We're just causing trouble for ourselves. But if we to live through this state gracefully, we should follow 4 regulative principles strictly. No gambling, no intoxicants, no meat eating, no illicit sex. And chant, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Kirtaniya Salah. Then, and be engaged in service of Krishna, service of the spiritual master. Then one becomes, in the words of Bhagavad Gita, what is that? Padma Patram Ivambasa. Like a lotus leaf on the water. If you throw something into the water, like some cloth or some bread, it just gets soggy. But the lotus leaf, after 2 minutes, 5 minutes, the cloth is soggy, the bread is soggy. But the lotus leaf is sitting all day on the water and it never becomes soggy. Padma Patram Ivambasa. The lotus leaf is sitting all day in the water and it never becomes soggy. So similarly, the Krishna conscious person, he's eating, he's working, he's doing everything, but because he's Krishna conscious, he becomes like a lotus leaf on the water, unaffected. Is that okay? I hope it's okay.
She says thank you.
Okay. I wonder what other questions might be there. Or are you going to let me go home early?
The question is, I have often wondered, how did we become diseased?
Ah, yes. How did we become diseased? By looking away from Krishna. Krishna Bahirmukh Jiva Bhogavancha. As parts of Krishna, we have the independence that Krishna has also, but in small proportion. And when we misuse that independence, then we're captured by the material energy. Prabhupada gives the example that you put your hand like this, your palm is in the light, and you put your hand like that, your palm is in the darkness. So it's up to you whether you want to be in the light, in the darkness. We turn toward Krishna, we're in the light. We turn away from Krishna, we're in darkness. As soon as we turn away from Krishna, immediately darkness. And as soon as we turn toward Krishna, immediately light. Is that okay? Then, let's see. In our loving dealing with other living entities, is it fair to expect reciprocation? Or is that another form of material enjoyment? How do we respond when we don't? When we don't? I guess when we don't get reciprocation. What is the truth of such situations? What is a helpful, what is a helpful mindset to have in such instances? Well, this is the material world. We're looking for satisfaction. And it's kind of like a deal. I'll do this for you. You do this for me. I'll smile at you. You smile back at me. I'll say something nice to you. You say something nice to me. That's what we're all doing, really. And the so-called love is like that. Loving dealings also. That, I say I love you, and then I expect, I love you too. I just want to make you happy. Yes, I just want to make you happy. So in this way, everyone is professing love. Everyone is saying, I just want to, I love you so much. You're so beautiful. You're so this, you're so that, you're so this. And it's simply my lust. It's simply my sense gratification. Simply for my sense gratification. And when the sense gratification dries up, then the love dries up. So we say, I love you forever. But then when you don't have any money anymore, or when you're old and older and not so good looking, or whatever it is, then we say, I think, we're probably not really meant for one another. I don't think this relationship is working. It's better to be honest with one another, because we're not getting sense gratification. And for that matter, no one can fully reciprocate our love. We can't fully express our love, and no one can fully reciprocate our love. What will you give me in this world? Some flowers, some candy, your body. None of this will satisfy me. The soul will not be satisfied. You give the candy, you give the flowers, you give your body, you give your mind, you give your heart. I still won't be satisfied because I'm not this body. I have nothing to do with this material world. So even though I may think, yes, this is who I am, this is what I want, I won't be satisfied. The spiritual living being will not be satisfied by material enjoyment or material, however it's packaged, material love, material loving reciprocations, loving dealings. I won't be satisfied. You reciprocate or not reciprocate. If you don't reciprocate, I feel frustrated. And if you do reciprocate, still I'll feel frustrated. It's never enough. That loving propensity will be satisfied when we come to Krishna. Krishna is the one who can fully reciprocate the love of every living being. We have an eternal loving relationship with Krishna. When we come to that relationship, then Yayatma Suprasidati. Then the heart becomes fully satisfied. Otherwise, always dissatisfied. So the best mindset in all such circumstances is Krishna consciousness. Smartavyam Satatam Vishnu, Vismartavyam Rajati. Always remember Krishna and never forget Krishna. What is the purpose of our minute independence? Why does it have to have a purpose? Krishna is independent, we're part of Krishna, so we have independence. It's not that Krishna has to create independence within us for some purpose. Krishna is fully independent. We're part of Krishna, so we have some independence, but tiny. Is our lack of complete attraction to and absorption in Krishna solely due to our lack of desire for Krishna? Yeah, we're not attracted to Krishna because we're attracted to Maya. We're imagining that we'll be happy independently. We're imagining so many things. And therefore not attracted to Krishna. Krishna explains in the Bhagavad Gita that he's seated in the heart of every living entity, and from him comes remembrance and forgetfulness. My question is, why is it that when we somehow get the taste for hearing about Krishna and his pastimes, we lose that taste due to forgetfulness? From this statement above, it seems that he makes us forget. No, we ourselves want to forget. A part of us wants to remember, part of us wants to forget. The more you want to remember Krishna, the more Krishna will help you to remember. But the more we want to forget, the more Krishna helps us forget. So again, we're in the probationary stage, or the recuperative stage. So at that stage, careful management is needed so that I don't, again, have a relapse, fall back into the disease condition. That should be there. So yes. So we need to be careful because we get a little attraction for Krishna. We want to remember Krishna, but then the next moment we want a new BMW. We want a relationship with this new girl on the block. We want some money. We want some this. We want some that. So our purpose or our desire to remember Krishna is there, but not very strong. When it's strong, then the other things fall away. Raso varjam raso pyasya param drishtva nivartate. So we have to cultivate that remembrance of Krishna. We have to cultivate that taste for hearing about Krishna. We have to cultivate that taste by chanting Hare Krishna. And therefore, the spiritual master's instructions are there. Instructions of Shastra are there so that we can follow and achieve perfection. It's not that Krishna makes us forget it, he helps us forget. If we want to forget, Krishna helps us. If we want to remember, he helps us. If we sometimes want to remember, sometimes want to forget, he helps us there also. But we need to practice so that we'll always want to remember. Okay, follow-up question out loud about reciprocation.
Hare Krishna Maharaj, can you hear me now?
Yes.
All right. Thank you for the thoughts that you shared around the reciprocation. My follow-up question is related because I've been struggling or thinking about this idea of reciprocation versus transaction, because I think that's what Maharaj was saying, that sometimes we give love expecting others to love us back, which in a way ties in with this idea of expectation. But I was relating it to a nectar of instruction. Srila Rupa Goswami describes that there's loving exchanges, though, in a relationship. So I'm trying to reconcile that idea, that a relationship...
Rupa Goswami explains that these loving reciprocations, what happens then?
They're reciprocal, because it's you give gifts and you receive gifts. You offer prasadam and you receive. So there's that idea of reciprocation. But I'm trying to relate it to when is it not transactional and when is it okay?
Related to what?
When is it not transactional? Because it appears from the nectar of instruction text that in loving relationships there is reciprocity. So that's what I'm struggling to. That's what I'm struggling to reconcile.
Yes, if there's no reciprocation, then you don't go further. When there's reciprocation, just like a friendship, you start friendship with someone, and if there's no reciprocation, you sort of forget. you put it aside. You say, I guess this person didn't really want to be my friend. But if the person reciprocates, then it develops, right? Person says, so what do you think? You say, and what do you think I should do? Well, why do you think, have you thought of this? Have you thought of that? You reveal your mind, they reveal their mind. And they say, hey, why don't you come for lunch? And you say, yeah, I'd love to. And you invite them, why don't you come? So in this way, these things develop by cultivation, by reciprocation. It develops. If there's no reciprocation, then it grows, what's the word? It goes dead, or it never gets started. So we need reciprocation where social and we're looking for relationships. So we should find that among devotees. Otherwise, how will we be Krishna conscious? Therefore, the Krishna consciousness movement means loving relationships among devotees. Is that okay?
Can I ask one last question and then I'll drop it? So in relation to what I was asking about, how do we then respond when we don't receive that reciprocation? My question is, because earlier on in Maharaj's earlier response, you mentioned that sometimes we give, and because when someone doesn't respond, then we walk away. And that's almost, to me, I understood that as indicative of lust, that I wanted something and I didn't get it, therefore I move away because I wanted to gratify myself in whatever instances it was. So when I do give in relation or in hope of relation with others, be they devotees, knowing devotees or covered devotees, what's a helpful mindset to have when we're giving our love to others? Is it that we give and we don't expect anything, and if they reciprocate, then a relationship starts?
You're not on the best. You're not on the best connection, Mataji. If you
I'm so sorry.
go a little slower, then I'll be able to hear you.
Okay, I'll try simplify the thoughts. Was relating.
Simplify them. Just speak them more slowly.
Yeah, I'm saying simplify so I don't ramble on too long. I was asking, when earlier on Maharaj said that we give our love, and sometimes when someone does not reciprocate with us, we move away. And I understood that almost as because of our lustful tendencies, that because what can someone give to me really that can satisfy me, the soul? But saying in our present state now, what is a mindful mindset to have when I give of my love to others, be they devotees or be they not within the devotional community? Do I give my love and not expect anything in return? And when they do reciprocate, that's when a relationship starts. That's what I'm trying to reconcile.
If your relationship is in relationship to Krishna, you won't be disappointed. The first thing is Krishna, and in relationship to Krishna, then the other relationships will be there. That let me, yes, this person is a devotee. Let me do some service. Let me, and even on the material platform, it's always I want some material thing, material satisfaction. On the spiritual platform, even if there's no reciprocation, some service, I did something, all right. And if there was no reciprocation there, there'll be reciprocation someplace else. As long as I can be engaged in Krishna's service and be in the association of devotees, then everything will fall in place.
I see.
It may not be this way, it may be that way. But as long as Krishna's there, everything will be all right.
Thank you so much.
Okay. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
And directly, the holy name of Krishna is Krishna himself. But go on chanting Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare. And even if it feels like there's no reciprocation, it will come. You go on chanting, go on chanting, go on chanting. All right. Shall we stop here?
Yes. Thank you, Maharaj, for the class.